So, anybody think about Nebraska lately? Imagine you're a farmer or a rancher, and you look up one day and you see this plane, and then a couple weeks later you get a note in the mail that says EPA has been flying overhead on your land, and you have a discharge without permit letter. Well, anyway, this is what's happening. The EPA is flying overhead, spying basically on farmers and ranchers. They say they're doing regulation and checking to make sure. But there's a bipartisan coalition led by Senator Johanns and Congressman Adrian Smith out there to ask EPA, what in the world are you doing? And even, I think it's so bipartisan that even Bob is in solidarity wearing dark glasses today.
I have my spy glasses because they're drones they're flying overhead, not the same drones.
No, they're not. They're taking pictures.
No, they're drones. Listen, here's the problem with this. The FAA has a bill, the authorization bill, that's going to allow thousands of these things to fly over the United States. The idea that you use drones that's used to catch terrorists in Asia and in the Middle East to fly over the United States to spy on people is one of the great invasions of privacy, whether they do it for farmers or they do it for anything else. They're doing it now to help some police forces supposedly checking on criminals. These things can intercept cell phone calls, text messages. These are nothing more than spy planes. They have no right being over
in
there.
Nebraska, what are they looking for? Yeah. And that's so it's usually a Clean Water Act.
What does anybody look for in Nebraska?
On the border,
right on Don Johnson.
On the border, they can be looking for illegals coming across the border, which I think they're using.
Nebraska?
No, I'm not saying Nebraska. I'm saying you said what?
They were authorized to use 8.
But Johanns, Danny, you point out, asked the right question first. They put out a big long letter. On what statutory authority does the EPA have to run these drone missions or whatever they're doing, these flyover missions?
And Kimberly, one of the questions is a violation of the Fourth Amendment.
Fourth Amendment,
and that was an unlawful search and seizure.
Yeah, exactly. Is it a violation? I think it's a really good point, in fact, that it is. And what is the stated purpose for this, except for them to try and get information to be able to sue these farmers? Environmental groups have access then to what's going on. It's really, you can't believe stuff like this.
Well, EPA is saying, Andrea, that they're saving money. That this actually helps them because they're not doing on-site. They don't have to go on-site. They can just fly overhead and see if you're breaking the law.
Right. So all these flights overhead are somehow more cost-efficient?
Well, not only that, but the state of Nebraska, it's responsible for the monitoring, and then they're supposed to report to the feds. So either they're not doing their job, or EPA is doubling up.
Let's keep in mind, this is not just the EPA. I'm sorry.
But this story is about the EPA.
Yeah.
She just gave you a look.
No, I did give you a look, because this is about cow manure. You know how ridiculous this is? What's next? Cameras up
I'll
cow
tell you what's
bums?
next.
I mean,
that's what I was about to say. What's next is that they're using these things now to supposedly aid police departments in certain areas. They've got hundreds of these missions going on. It is unconstitutional. It is using spy planes that, by the way, are controlled by the military.
Well, let me tell you one other thing that they're worried about, Eric. This will fit right into your conspiratorial world. Who is the EPA sharing this information with any groups that might want to shut down farming or animal welfare groups or things like that?
There's a lot. Bob, may I? She said Eric.
Eric's
there are a lot of people who think that there's a whole social engineering thing going on in the White House. There's the Agenda 21 from the UN. There's also the White House Rural Council. If they're gathering information to bring people closer to the cities, there's a lot more eyeballs they can keep on them, a lot more.
There was
efficiencies in
there
water.
was somebody from one of the groups, one of the farming groups, that said he actually saw some of the pictures and it allayed his concerns. But I'm kind of concerned about the slippery slope.
Wait, where is the left that was jumping up and down when the Patriot Act was happening, which was actually not spying on cow dung, it was spying on suspected terrorists. Now it's okay in the name of the environment.
That's what
somehow there's some.
That's what our friend Greg Gutfeld would call. Oh, never mind then.
That's
right. We gotta go, but we'll come back to you.
Excuse me, I just am so shocked that Eric interrupted.
Well, he hadn't said a word yet. All right, coming up, Dan Rather.